Have you ever stepped into a space and before you could even find a seat, sensed a shift? No one glanced your way, no one spoke your name, no one offered a greeting, yet something changed. The room grew quieter, the air thickened, people subtly adjusted their stance. Some seemed uneasy, others just stared. That wasn't your imagination, that wasn't in your mind, that was your aura. It arrived before your footsteps, spoke before your voice, and delivered a silent, unshakable message. I'm not here to fade into the background. I'm here to be felt, to be seen. Carl Jung once said, "The psyche transcends the body." You're not merely flesh and bone. Your energy, vibration, presence. When that energy is pure, aligned, and powerful, you don't just enter a room. You disrupt it. You stir it. You awaken it. You become the kind of person who quietly exposes the inauthentic and inspires the genuine to step forward. This isn't about being aggressive or loud. It's about being so authentic that everything false crumbles in your presence. In this video, we'll explore 13 signs that your energy isn't ordinary. It's electric, disruptive, divine. If you've ever felt out of place, like people react to you without reason, this message is for you. Perhaps you weren't born to fit into rooms. Perhaps you were born to transform them. Let's dive in. Chapter 1. Your silence carries a loud presence. Have you ever entered a space and felt the atmosphere shift? No words were spoken, no introductions made, yet eyes subtly turned your way. Not because of your status or appearance, but because of something deeper, something unspoken. That's presence. You don't need to speak or justify yourself. When your energy is aligned, your silence speaks louder than noise. People sense you before they hear you. They feel something real, something different. That kind of presence doesn't seek approval. It simply exists. They may not know your name, but they'll remember how your energy made them feel. Curious, calm, powerful, or even unsettled. Because when you show up as your true self, you disrupt the ordinary. People don't forget those who make them feel something. Why does this happen? Your psyche enters the space before your body does. Your aura strides in with authority, needing no permission. It declares, "I'm not here to perform, I'm here to be real." That truth is magnetic, rare, and unforgettable in a world of masks and roles. Presence isn't about being loud, it's about being aligned. It's about mastering your energy, so your silence becomes a mirror reflecting truth, confidence, and authenticity. That's power. That's what makes you unshakable. Chapter 2. You stir others' hidden shadows. Ever wonder why some people admire you while others seem uneasy around you, even without a word? Why some lean in with curiosity while others pull back with judgment or subtle hostility? Here's the truth, and it may surprise you. You're not doing anything wrong. You're simply being authentic. And in today's world, authenticity is revolutionary. When you enter a space with truth in your spirit and clarity in your gaze, you don't need to speak to make an impact. Your presence becomes a mirror reflecting what others have buried within themselves. For many, that's terrifying. Your honesty disarms, your confidence unsettles, your raw energy threatens the masks they've worn for years. They see in you what they've silenced in themselves. They feel in your presence what they've hidden from their own shadow. When your light touches it, discomfort begins. You don't seek to trigger anyone or invite confrontation, but your energy is too pure, too awake, too honest. In a world of filters and facades, that honesty is a silent threat. Carl Jung said, "The shadow is the part of ourselves we suppress, reject, and bury." You, unknowingly, bring that shadow into the light, not by judgment or force, but by existing as your unapologetic self. You walk with purpose, not to intimidate, but because you found meaning in your steps. You speak with conviction, not to outshine others, but because you've healed yourself. When those who haven't done that inner work come near you, they feel the contrast. Their insecurities have nowhere to hide. That's when projections begin. They'll call you too intense, too confident, too direct. But what they're really saying is, I'm not ready to face my shadow. You make it impossible to ignore. Don't dim your light. Don't shrink yourself. You're not responsible for their discomfort. You didn't choose to trigger their wounds. You chose to heal your own. Your healing highlights where others are still broken. That's not your burden. It's their invitation to grow. Let them whisper. Let them stare. Let them misunderstand. You weren't born to be palatable. You were born to be powerful. Your job isn't to shield others from their shadows. It's to keep shining so they realize it's safe to look within. Your presence is a wake-up call, and only the awake will understand. Chapter 3. Nature, children, and animals are drawn to you. Have you ever noticed how the world responds when no one's watching? A stray cat nestles near you. A child you've never met beams at you. The breeze feels softer when you're alone. It's not coincidence. It's energy. Unlike humans who judge by status or appearances, animals, children, and nature don't fall for illusions. They don't read your words. They read your vibration. They sense whether your energy is pure or chaotic, safe or polluted. When your aura is grounded, calm, and real, they respond with trust, peace, and connection. Animals know a kind heart without explanation. Children feel a warm presence without credentials. Nature aligns with those who carry stillness. That's you. Your aura doesn't scream for attention or fake happiness. It simply exists in truth. And truth, in its quietest form, is the most powerful language. In a world of fake smiles, forced laughter, and constant performance, your calm, real energy is a sanctuary. That's why animals linger, why children feel safe, why trees seem to whisper gently when you're near. You're not trying to impress or dominate. You're just being. In your being, there's harmony. In a world of overstimulation, you are stillness. In a society addicted to pretense, you are authenticity. In an energy field crowded with chaos, you are alignment. The natural world bows to that because truth doesn't need to be shouted. It needs only to be felt. Never underestimate the silent validation of the world around you. As sometimes a dog's ease in your presence or a child's outstretched hand says more about your soul than any crowd's applause. You are connected, grounded, real, and the purest parts of the world feel it. Chapter 4. You intimidate without effort. You don't enter a room to prove anything. You're not loud, not seeking validation. You carry steady breath, calm eyes, and unshakable presence. Yet the atmosphere shifts. People straighten up, laugh too hard, talk too much, and grow uneasy, even though you haven't spoken. Why? In a world that respects noise, your silence is a power move. In a culture obsessed with appearances, your authenticity is a threat. You're not trying to intimidate. You don't fake bravado or puff your chest. But you don't hide either, and that shakes people to their core. When someone hasn't made peace with themselves, your presence exposes them, not by judgment or force, but by being real in a space full of masks. That's why their laughter feels forced, why they put up walls. Deep down, they know you see through their performance. Your stillness says, I've done the work. Your energy whispers, I know who I am. For those who haven't begun their healing, that feels like pressure, exposure, a quiet storm moving through their facade. They fidget, force smiles, fill silence with noise because they can't bear what your presence reveals. You're not the villain in their story. You're the mirror reflecting what they've buried or feared. While that may intimidate, it also invites them to rise. You don't need to soften your truth or dim your light. Your existence isn't an attack. It's a standard. Only those willing to rise will understand you. Keep showing up as you are. The right ones will see your peace as a compass, not a threat, guiding them back to themselves. Chapter 5. You shift the room's energy. You don't always notice it. You're just being you, calm, grounded, present. But something undeniable happens when you enter a space. The air changes, conversations shift, postures adjust, all without a word from you. You wonder why people grow quiet, stare longer, or fumble their words. Here's the truth. Your frequency did this, not you. This isn't dominance or forced charisma. It's vibrational presence. It's not what you do. It's what you are. A walking field of truth, a reflection of alignment. Your aura speaks before your voice. You don't need validation or a spotlight because your energy rearranges anything misaligned. You carry something timeless, ancient, echoes of forgotten lineages, symbols, archetypes, codes. People can't explain it, but they feel it deep in their bones. It stirs something ancestral, spiritual, like a long-lost memory of power, purpose, or pain. You walk in like a breeze, but shift the space like a storm. Not loud, not aggressive, but undeniable. That's not magic. It's alignment. When your soul is rooted in truth, your presence naturally adjusts the room. People feel seen, safe, exposed, or shaken. You're not just a person. You're a portal, a mirror, a reminder. The energy doesn't lie. It responds to who you are. If people treat you differently or react strangely, know this. You didn't disturb the room. You revealed what was already there. You shift frequencies, awaken truths, bring the unseen to light. That's not something you do. It's something you are. Chapter 6. You read people without words. You step into a room and something hits you. Everything looks normal. Everyone's smiling, chatting. But you sense something's off. Tension lingers in the air. Fake harmony hides behind laughter. Someone's energy doesn't match their words. You're not paranoid or overthinking. You're deeply aware. You don't need people to explain themselves because you've already felt what they're afraid to say. That uneasiness in their posture, that flash of insecurity behind a compliment, that subtle shift in tone, you pick it up without effort. Carl Jung called it symbolic perception, a deep, intuitive intelligence that reads energy before speech. It's like speaking an invisible language of body cues, micro-expressions, and emotional frequencies. Once you're tuned in, you can't unhear it. This isn't a mystical gift. It's the result of your inner work. When your aura is clear, your perception sharpens. You sense people's emotional weather, not from their words, but from what their soul leaks. You feel the grief behind a smile, the envy behind praise, the storm behind, I'm fine. This awareness sets you apart. You can't play along with shallow small talk anymore. You crave depth, truth. Masks make your spirit itch. People may call you intense, but you're just energetically honest. A rarity in a world obsessed with saying the right thing. You feel the real thing. Trust that intuition. While others listen to voices, you're tuned to the frequency beneath. You don't just read people, you understand them, often better than they understand themselves. Chapter 7. Small talk exhausts. You smile politely, nod at the right moments, toss in a, "Yeah, wild weather today," but inside, you're drained. Not because you're shy or antisocial, but because every empty word chips away at your soul. Gossip, office drama, pretending to care about someone's cat. It physically wears you out. Your spirit wasn't built for hollow conversations. Your energy craves substance. You don't want to talk about people. You want to talk with people about their fears, dreams, wounds, purpose. You want to know what keeps them awake, what ignites their soul, what they've hidden from the world. You need real. Your presence calls for presence. In a world of autopilot interactions, you were born to connect, feel, awaken. Small talk feels like static in your frequency, not just boring, but suffocating. Your system registers it as noise, and you were built for signal. You want conversations that dive deep into truth, pain, the heart, where your energy flows effortlessly, where your aura expands. This makes you different. Some may call you too serious, intense, or hard to talk to, but those who are awake feel the magic in your depth. When you find souls who speak your unspoken language, the conversation feels like home. You're not antisocial. You're allergic to fake. You weren't made to blend into noise. You were made to echo truth in a world starving for meaning. Chapter 8. People project their darkness onto you. Your light isn't loud. You don't try to prove anything. But when you enter a room, something shifts. Not just the atmosphere, but people. Their tone, energy, behavior changes, sometimes instantly. You're left wondering, what did I do? Nothing. You didn't disrespect or hurt them. Your presence disrupted something they've kept hidden. When your light shines clearly, it disturbs the darkness they've ignored. Not everyone is ready to face their lies or wounds, and you become the mirror that makes those shadows inescapable. Some project sudden hate, subtle jealousy, or cold silence. They twist your words, doubt your intentions, mock your spirit, not because of who you are, but because of what you represent. You're a truth bomb, challenging their performance, interrupting their illusion. You don't play games or wear masks, and that unsettles those who do. They feel exposed in your presence, seeing everything they've buried. You trigger their inner storm without effort. Some pull away, others disguise admiration as resentment when you refuse to shrink for them. Don't question your worth because someone couldn't face theirs. You're not responsible for their projections, only for staying true. The brighter your flame, the sharper the shadows it casts. You weren't meant to dim to make others comfortable in their darkness. You're here to wake them up, even if they run before they rise. Let them. You're not here to be liked, you're here to be real. Chapter 9. Your silence outshines their noise. You don't raise your voice, interrupt, or dominate. You've learned what most haven't. Silence is power. Your silence roars. You don't fight to be heard or beg to be understood. You're at peace with yourself. While the world scrambles for attention and approval, you sit still, grounded, present, unshaken. Your silence says more than 1,000 words. It declares, I don't need to perform. I'm watching, listening, and I see everything. That terrifies people. Most talk to mask fear, get loud when insecure, fill space with noise because silence exposes them. But you've made peace with the quiet. You are the quiet. Your silence isn't passive. It's active, potent. It confronts, challenges, reveals, forcing others to face themselves. They may mistake it for arrogance or distance, but you're tuned to a different frequency, one that doesn't need noise to hold power. Your aura has already spoken, your energy has already shifted the space. You don't need to shout over anyone because you've become the deepest presence in the room. Stay quiet, not from fear, but from mastery. When your silence carries truth, even the loudest crowd falls still. Chapter 10. You attract the real, repel the fake. There's no middle ground with you. People either lean in or run. They're drawn to your energy like a magnet or avoid you like a mirror they've dodged for years. The beauty? You're not trying. You're not shape-shifting to fit in or begging to be liked. You exist as your raw, unfiltered self, and your energy becomes a filter. Some feel seen for who they truly are, not their facade, and feel safe, accepted, understood, perhaps for the first time. Your presence says, "Come as you are, not as you're expected." Others feel triggered, exposed, uncomfortable. The version of them you see is the one they've hidden. You don't speak the language of fakeness, so when they show up with masks or manipulation, your aura quietly says, "No thanks." It doesn't push or yell, it just doesn't match. Energy never lies. They may not know why they feel uneasy, but their soul knows you don't tolerate fake. You repel what's unaligned and attract what's real. Your energy declares, only the true may enter, not because you're cold, but because you've worked too hard to protect your peace. This is your gift, your invisible shield. It spares you from betrayal, saves you from wasted time, and draws in souls who meet you at your depth. If people drift away without reason, let them. It wasn't rejection. It was resonance doing its job. You're not here to be liked by all. You're here to be found by the real. Chapter 11. You carry a warrior's calm. You don't brag or flex. There's no need for loud declarations or ego. Your silence speaks louder than most people shouting. Your calm isn't passive. It's the calm of someone who's been through hell and evolved. You've faced storms that could have broken you, walked through darkness where your breath felt like thunder, sat with your shadows to understand, not fight them. That's why your energy feels grounded, why your presence settles or shakes a room, depending on who's watching. You don't need to prove strength, you are strength. You've met your deepest self and didn't flinch. You've learned inner warfare, died, and been reborn mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Now, your peace is power. Some respect it, sensing the depth in your eyes, thinking, this person has been through something. They feel safe near you. Listen closely when you speak, because your words carry weight. Others fear it. They only know power that screams, not power that breathes. They don't grasp how someone so still can be so strong, so gentle, yet so untouchable. But no one forgets it. A warrior's calm is earned, not common, radiating in ways the world can't fake. Your softness isn't weakness. Your restraint is strength. Your stillness, strategy. Your peace, the product of every battle you've won in silence. You don't need a sword. You are the weapon. Sharpened by pain, polished by wisdom, powered by truth. Your calm isn't the absence of war. It's the presence of someone who knows who they are and doesn't need to fight to prove it. Chapter 12. You heal without trying. You don't need a title, a license, or the perfect words. When people are near you, they feel lighter, calmer, more themselves, more seen, and you're not even trying. Your energy creates a space that says, you can exhale here. You don't have to pretend. You're safe. Most people carry invisible wounds, Hearts full of unsaid things, smiles hiding battles. In your presence, their masks crack, their walls lower, and they feel they can just be. That's your medicine, not in what you say, but in what you carry. A stillness, a depth, a frequency of truth that reaches where words can't. Your energy doesn't just soothe, it awakens. You make people feel safe, but also seen. When someone is truly seen, their illusions crumble, their lies can't breathe, their unhealed stories shake. That can be terrifying, because while you heal effortlessly, you also challenge unintentionally. You trigger reflection, pull truths to the surface, inspire people to drop their act, even if they're not ready to face what's beneath. Some will thank you, others will pull away. No one leaves unchanged. Healing isn't always soft. Sometimes it's being cracked open, and your presence does that gently but deeply. Don't underestimate your gift. You weren't born to fix people. You were born to remind them of their power. By being you, you help others remember who they are. That's the rarest healing. Chapter 13. You were born to disrupt the fake. You felt it your whole life. That tension in rooms where everyone's pretending, fake smiles, forced conversations, shallow dynamics. Deep down, you knew you didn't belong, not because you're broken, but because you were never meant to blend in. You were born to stand out by standing in truth. You weren't made to stay quiet in the face of lies or shrink to keep others comfortable. You came to wake people up, shake systems built on illusion, call the soul home, even if it means becoming the storm they didn't see coming. Your aura doesn't just glow, it disrupts. It enters quietly, but shifts the entire frequency of a space, not because you're dramatic, but because your truth exposes what's fake by existing. That's why some love you instantly, and others can't stand you without reason. Your energy threatens anything built on performance. You stir what's asleep, make lies hard to breathe, unsettle masks, not by calling them out, but by being you. You represent something wild, rare, real. And real is dangerous to comfort zones, conformity, and those hiding from their reflection. You weren't born to be neutral. You were born to be transformational. Transformation doesn't come through small talk or silence. It comes through disruption, through energy that refuses to play dead. Don't dull your fire. Don't soften your edge. You're here to disturb the fake, not make peace with it. Every time your aura meets illusion, truth wins. The world needs more of that, more of you. If this message stirs something deep, it wasn't just content. It was a mirror meant for you. You've always felt different, too real, too intense, too emotional for a world of surface-level masks. That's not a flaw. It's your purpose. You weren't born to be background noise. You were born to radiate, awaken, stir, shake what's asleep. Stop apologizing for your presence. Stop editing your truth to fit their comfort. Let them whisper, stare, misunderstand. That's not your burden. It's their awakening. Promise me this. Never dim your light to protect someone else's shadows. Your energy wasn't meant to be hidden. It was meant to be felt, raw, loud, real. If this truth resonated, if it reminded you of who you are, like this video, share it with someone doubting their light and subscribe. Your energy isn't alone anymore. Welcome to the tribe. This is your space, your truth, your people. This is the end, but truly, it's just the beginning. Let's rise together.